AI isn't some far-off futuristic promise anymore. It's here, right now, and companies are rolling it out at an absolutely incredible scale. But you have to ask, behind all the hype, is it actually delivering?
I mean, we've moved way beyond the sandbox phase. Generative AI is now being plugged into the heart of our products, our operations, even how we talk to our customers. This isn't just about playing around anymore. We're in full-on execution mode.
But here's the thing. For every big promise, there's often a pretty harsh reality. This quote here, from a real AI professional, just hits the nail on the head. The tools we're being handed aren't just falling a little short. They're creating this huge gap between the marketing pitch and our actual day-to-day work.
So in this explainer, we are going to break it all down. We'll start with that big productivity promise, then dive into the painful realities so many people are facing. We'll figure out the core problem, what we're calling the governance gap, and then we'll map out a powerful shift toward control and give you a clear 5-step framework to get there.
Okay, so let's start with the promise. We've all been sold this dream, right? AI is like a magic wand for productivity, woven perfectly into all our tools, ready to make us faster, smarter, more efficient, basically superhuman.
But then, that beautiful hype runs smack into the help desk. And instead of some productivity paradise, a lot of us are just left wrestling with the very tools that were supposed to make our lives easier. This is where the frustration really starts to build.
And this frustration isn't vague, it's super specific. People are getting answers that are inconsistent or, honestly, just plain wrong. They're wasting so much time just rewriting simple prompts again and again. They know the output they're getting is worse than what other tools can do, and to top it all off, they're stuck in these expensive year-long contracts for a product that just doesn't work as advertised.
So why do we put up with this? Well, this quote really gets to the core of it. It's not about the tool being the best. It's about it having exclusive access to our data. We're basically trapped in an ecosystem, forced to use a mediocre tool because it's the only one that can see all our stuff.
So what happens when your employees get this frustrated? Well, they find workarounds. And that leads directly to the rise of what's called shadow AI. This is when people start using unapproved tools simply because the official ones aren't getting the job done. It's not malicious, it's just people trying to be good at their jobs.
And this is where the real risk explodes. As people turn to shadow AI, they're taking sensitive company data with them. Get this, a shocking 38% of employees admit to feeding confidential work info into these unmonitored tools. This isn't just a productivity problem anymore, it's a massive security crisis just waiting to happen.
And the problems just keep scaling. That pilot project that seems so affordable, it's like a Trojan horse. The moment you try to roll it out for real, the costs can just skyrocket. So now you're dealing with frustrated users, huge security holes, and a major financial headache.
Okay, so this brings us to the real diagnosis. All of these failures we're seeing, they're not really about the AI models themselves being bad. The real problem is a total lack of governance. There's no system to manage, monitor, or control how AI is actually being used.
We call this the governance gap. It's this giant chasm that opens up when everyone in the company starts adopting AI tools from the bottom up, way faster than the organization can manage them. The technology is just moving way faster than our ability to put any guardrails around it.
A huge reason for this gap is this fundamental change in how we pay for software. We used to live in this predictable, seat-based world, right? Fixed fee per user. But now, we're in a consumption-based world of tokens. Every single prompt, every single response costs money. And without any controls, those costs can spiral out of control.
Let me break down why these costs get so high. First, just running the AI, what they call inference, that's more than 70% of the total cost right there. Second, when you have complex AI workflows, one request can trigger a whole cascade of other model calls, multiplying the cost. And finally, with no central plan, different teams are doing the same work, and there's just zero control over spending. So let's be really clear. You can't solve this by just buying a new tool. As Gartner points out here, this is a deep-seated failure of architecture and operations. We have to fundamentally rethink how we manage technology in this new age of AI.
So, what's the solution? Well, it starts with a huge shift in our mindset. We have to move past this idea of just giving everyone access to AI and start thinking about establishing real control.
The fix, from an architectural standpoint, is something called an AI control plane. The best way to think of it is like a central nervous system for all the AI activity in your company.
It's this one single layer that sits between all your users and their apps and all the different AI models and tools they might want to use.
So what does this control plane actually do? Well, it centralizes access, so you can finally see who is using what. It can intelligently route a request to the best, most cost-effective model for the job. It enforces your company policies on spending and data security. It gives you complete visibility, and it actively optimizes costs. Basically, it's the direct solution to all those problems of cost, security, and sprawl we talked about.
This whole shift completely changes the question your organization should be asking. You go from reactively looking at a bill and asking, what do we spend on AI, to proactively asking, are we using AI efficiently? And hey, should this really expensive request even be allowed to run at all? It's a move from just doing accounting to actively managing.
Okay, so how do you actually make this happen in your own company? Well, the good news is there's a really clear path forward. Let's walk through the steps to build your own AI governance framework. Here's a 5-step audit you can literally start today. First, discover what's actually being used out there. You can't manage what you can't see. Second, map those tools to your real business workflows and the data they're touching. Third, look at your existing company rules and see how they apply. Fourth, triage your risk. Find the most sensitive workflows that have the weakest controls and focus there first. And finally, number 5, enforce policy. Make the call. Approve, restrict, replace, or block tools based on what you found.
And the impact of doing this, it is massive. Just look at these numbers. Companies with strong AI governance see a 92% project success rate, and those without, a measly 5%. This isn't just about saving a bit of money or plugging a few security leaks. This is the difference between AI actually creating business value and becoming just another expensive, failed experiment.
So, why does all of this matter for you right now? Because we are all entering the second phase of enterprise AI. The first phase was basically a land grab for access. Just get as many people using AI as possible. This next phase, though, it's going to be won by the people who master control and economics.
I want to leave you with this one final thought, because it really wraps up everything we've talked about. Your company's competitive advantage is not going to come from which AI models you can access. It's going to come from the governance and control you build around them. That, right there, is the key to mastering enterprise AI.